What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Paul's Best Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the very best of things with the very best of people. And right now, I have my guest is somebody that I got really excited when they were like, hey, you know, Discovery wants to talk to you. Shark Week is coming up. Do you want to get this guy? And I know your story. Paul De Gelder is here. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure, mate.
I also was telling you before we shot that I'm thinking about, because I've done 3 comedy specials. 2 were shot in New York, 1 was shot in Chicago, and I did not realize that I have a crazy amount of fans in Australia.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
dude,
awesome.
Dude, it was so crazy, Paul, because I went to London, and I sold out, we added a show, and then all these people, all these Aussies going, when you come here, when you come here? I'm like, what if I did my 4th one? What if I just flew across the... But here's the thing. I'm going to have to, and tell me if this is true, I'm going to have to give it a week to get adjusted, right? Before I could actually... Like as far as time-wise and stuff?
I don't think so, man. I'm flying back into Australia to Brisbane to do a motivational gig, and I leave the 2nd, arrive the 4th, speak the 5th, fly out the 6th.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so you can do it. It just depends on how resilient you are.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, I'm talking to somebody that, like, resilience is kind of your language. Like, you know, your Army, Navy. Tell me about that, because I saw that you were Army, then you went to Navy.
Yeah, I was Army Airborne. I joined. So I had a bit of a tumultuous upbringing. My dad was a cop. Mum was a housewife. We went to all boys Catholic schools, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The police kids are the worst. And me and my 2 younger brothers, we just got into so much mischief. So I flunked high school, got kicked out of home at 17 and went off the rails a little bit. And then just before my 21st birthday, I got jumped by 20 dudes at a party. And I just thought, you know what, I got to get out of here. I'm going to be dead or in jail by the time I'm 23. By the time, if I stay in this town, which is a place called Canberra, it's the capital of Australia. So I threw everything I owned into a tiny little car that I had no license for, and drove 12 hours north to a new city called Brisbane, where my friend got a job for me behind a bar in a strip club, and I became a rapper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy
strip club
shit.
working rapper. Opened up for Snoop Dogg in 1998.
Is that right?
Yeah, in Brisbane.
Shit.
And thought, you know what, this is it. I've made it. I'm going to be a rapper. I've found my calling.
Oh, my God.
Not a lot of money in white rappers in Australia.
Yeah, I was going to say the Australian
Not
Eminem.
in 1998. So I joined the Army instead. My brothers were already in. They were artillery. And they said to me, look, it's a great job, but we know you, mate. You're too soft. If you're going to join the Army, don't join infantry. So I joined infantry and chose to be a paratrooper, jumping out of planes.
You're the oldest of 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Oldest of 4. I got a baby sister as well. She's an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran as well.
Oh, dude.
So all of us served.
Oh, man. Well, thank you for your service, all you guys. That's incredible. So you went into the infantry first.
Yep.
Okay.
Airborne infantry, and then just got sick of being dirty and smelly and out in the bush. So I thought I'll give something else a go. It's a big military. I didn't really want to leave. I had no real world skills except to hunt people and shoot them in the face. So, all I can do is go and be a contractor or something like that, shoot pirates from an oil platform. So I'll stay in the military a little longer before I get that desperate. I tried out for the Navy clearance diving unit, which is a very vast job. So we do everything from tactical operations, diving on pure oxygen rebreathers, to underwater bomb disposal, to land-based bomb disposal, diving on the modern day diving helmets and using underwater welding, underwater chainsaws, and then also counterterrorism as well. So it's a very cool, vast job that's different.
So it's everything.
It's pretty much everything, yeah. All the cool shit that you can do in the Navy.
So that's underwater and combat, out of water, everything.
Yeah.
Now, how deep would you go?
Depends on the job. I had to retrieve sand from the seabed next to an old Japanese submarine from World War II that was discovered off the coast of Australia. And that was 57 meters. So that's about 170 feet, I think. Wow, dude. Yeah.
Wow. And it doesn't have... Correct me if I'm wrong, but can't there be some sort of
nitrogen narcosis?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where you get drunk.
Yeah, you kind of get very delusional down there.
Yeah, real loopy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's different for every person. You can get it in 60 feet. Most people get it probably around. I'm in my head, I'm switching everything from meters to feet.
Sure.
20 meters, 40. So times it by 3. 120 feet. You're definitely going to get it.
Wow, dude.
So I did probably the deepest dive I've ever done was actually with Shark Week. We were out in a place called the Solomon Islands, and you've probably heard of Guadalcanal, the Battle of Guadalcanal with the Marine Corps.
Yep.
Right, it's that chain of islands there. And we were freediving next to an underwater volcano while it was erupting. And I went down on one of those dives to 92 meters, which is 200 feet. On one tank on air.
Did you get disoriented down there or no?
No, I didn't. We'd been doing a lot of diving, so it's kind of like being drunk. If you do it a lot, you get used to it.
It's like you got a nice buzz going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we just went down and came back up, but it's a pretty crazy job, like doing underwater bomb disposal and stuff like that, blowing the shit out of things.
Dude, so like, and I saw like Paul, I know that you are like you do motivational stuff and you travel around. You're a motivational speaker, but you could not be doing what you're doing today had you not been through the unbelievable shit that you've been through, right? Like that, right? Like that made you go like, because certain people just go, because people could go the other way, right?
Yeah.
People can just either go to drugs, just feel sorry for themselves.
And some do, I've lost more military friends to suicide than I have to war. Even no matter how well you train, sometimes the burden of life is just too much. The fear of losing your identity, and a lot of it happens when they get out of the military, which is sad because they're kind of like losing themselves, they're losing their purpose, and these are like super elite level human beings, and all of a sudden they're getting recommended by job recruiters to go and be a security guard or go and work in an office for the rest of their life.
Their worth goes down. Like, didn't that happen? You just saw what happened with, I don't know if you're into the UFC, but you saw what happened with Dustin Poirier in the airport. He was.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah. So
was that Dustin Poirier where he was threatening the cop?
The way he was threatening the cop. It's like because he had just retired, right? And it was like UFC was like gone, and he's just like, "I'll fight you right now." And then afterwards, he came out and he said like, "I was embarrassed, like I was really drunk, and like." People, maybe then they're talking. Oh, does he come back? Because I think what happens is Ronda Rousey said too.
Ronda's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, she said that when after she lost the second time, she's like, I didn't know if I could live. I felt you feel worthless.
But you do what she exactly did.
Exactly.
You pivot. Same as what I did. I couldn't do military anymore. I after we haven't really talked about it, but after getting my hand and my leg ripped off by a shark. I couldn't do my job anymore. I can't fast rope out of a helicopter with one hand and one leg, and I can't play with explosives. I look like I'm terrible at it. So I had to pivot and become a Navy diving instructor instead and pass on my knowledge and inspiration instead of going to do the job myself. But I hated that. I hated instructing after a couple of years. It's the worst. Like you're teaching people to do the thing that you love to do without ever getting to do it yourself.
I couldn't imagine having to just like tell people like talk about comedy. As a stand-up, and you're like, I want to get up there.
You're doing a master class without ever getting to do it yourself.
Exactly. And I could imagine how frustrating that would be. Well, so I wanted to talk about too what happened with you, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Because you don't like. That's the funny thing is like usually because I know that surfer. There was a girl.
Bethany Hamilton.
Yes, the arm. Was her arm?
Yep.
Yeah, and then she went back in.
She was winning competitions 3 months later.
That's like...
She is a weapon. I know Bethany.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's like, to me, and it's just like, and you don't have any like animosity towards sharks, right?
No, I've got like no PTSD, no flashbacks, no nightmares, no nothing. I'm like, I just didn't want to, and I think people forget we're the captain of the ship. People fall into the belief that they are victims to their emotions, and there are extenuating circumstances where that is true, that is the case. But for most people, we get to decide. Like, stop being a little bitch about it, and just pull your bootstraps up and put your big boy pants on and make a decision and stick to it. And that's really the only power we have, is that power of choice. So I'm just made a simple decision. I'm not a complicated person. I was laying in a hospital bed, my hand and my leg ripped off. I'm looking at losing my career. Am I ever going to be able to get a relationship, a girlfriend, ride my motorbike? It was like super complicated. So I just made a simple choice. What do I want? You want a good life or do you want a bad life?
Yeah.
Simple. Good life. Okay, so how do you achieve that good life? You figure it out, you find out what's most important to you, and you surround yourself in all of those things like a shield of armor to protect you from all of the negative stuff. And it might be something as simple like when I'm feeling bad, I love to go to the cinema. And I'll go to the fancy cinema by myself, get a margarita, and watch some sci-fi movie and just chill, or I'll go with a friend, whatever. Like, one of my most favorite things in the world is going to a comedy show.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was just on a guest in Kevin Hart's new show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not on stage, in the audience.
Oh, nice.
That was very cool. And I've met Chelsea Handler, and Josh Wolf is a very good friend of mine.
Oh, dude, Josh, I know Josh very well.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's great.
Oh, yeah, like that's the thing. Like the comedy community is very, believe it or not, like when you're a national headliner and you go out, there's like not many. We know everybody.
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
And Josh actually goes out with his son. His younger son opens for him, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very good dude, man.
I was just going through my Instagram, and someone had sent me a video clip of Josh singing a song about his time in Australia, where it's all about saying the word.
yeah, because you guys say it the way we say shit.
Yeah.
Like here, it's like some people.
I didn't want to say it too loud just in case.
No, it's all good. No, dude, it's all good. But like here, like they'll even go, oh, they said the C word. Like you guys, and same thing in England.
Yeah,
it's like
and Ireland,
it's like a throwaway. It's like it's like a shit.
Yep.
It's like, oh shit, you guys just
yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy is a sick cunt.
That is dumb.
Yeah,
You're just like, yeah, that's so funny.
You just don't say it in front of your mum.
No. Where did this happen? Where?
Sydney Harbour.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a part of Sydney Harbour. It's a very big harbour. You've got the harbour bridge over there. Then you've got the Sydney Opera House on the left if you're looking inland.
Yep.
And then on the left you've got a little garden area called Mrs. Macquarie's Chair. Then it's the Navy base. And it's where our warships are based, and our warships are very small compared to American warships, but they're still called warships. And I was just swimming in there, pretending to be an attack swimmer, and the R&D department of the military were testing this new equipment to see if they could detect me in the water, and they didn't detect a 10-foot bull shark coming to eat me. So it's online. You can actually watch the footage of me getting attacked if you Google Navy diver shark attack. But I thought I was dead.
How'd you escape that?
It took me underwater and was just thrashing me around, and it had my hand and my hamstring in its mouth, and it just basically ripped both of those out of my body. And while it was swimming away, throwing up or swallowing or whatever, I popped to the surface. I see my hand is gone, and I can see my safety boat. So I just start swimming back to my safety boat with one hand and one leg through a pool of my own blood.
Holy shit!
The guys in the boat said the blood was so thick they could literally taste it in the air when they came to pick me up and pull me out of the water.
Holy shit, dude!
So I'm just very lucky.
Yeah, dude. And it happens fast, yeah.
8 seconds.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
8 seconds.
8 seconds to change your life.
And for the people that don't know, and I know Shark Week is coming up. This is going to be the episode of Shark Week. And it's so cool of you to be able to talk about it so candidly. What's the difference between a bull shark and a great white shark? Is there much of a difference or no? Because I heard that bull sharks can be obviously are like that.
They can be very aggressive as well. Bull sharks, and they're vastly different animals in the shark species. Great whites will get much, much bigger. Bull sharks max out, probably the female's around 12 foot. The one that attacked me was 10. Great whites will max out at like 20 feet. Like they can get enormous.
So they can get double.
Yeah, 20, 22 foot long. They're enormous killing machines. But you can still swim peacefully with them. I've been out of the cage in Australia surrounded by 3 or 4 great whites with like just chilling, just swimming all around and stuff. Bull sharks as well. I have friends in Florida that hand feed bull sharks while snorkeling.
Wait a minute, but you'll just be free swimming?
Yeah, I'll be on scuba.
And
with the great whites.
And they just go right?
I mean, you got to be careful. Like one of my friends from Shark Week taught me a really important lesson that always rings in my head, and it says, "Don't act like food, and they won't treat you like food." So if they don't know what you are, you could be dangerous. And so if you hold your ground, you stare sharks down as well. They know when you're looking at them.
What?
Yeah, they know. They don't want to fight. They're ambush predators. They're opportunistic predators. They don't really want to fight. That's why they usually bite something, and then like a seal, and you'll see they'll swim around waiting for it to die. And then once they're sure it's bled out and dead, then they'll come and finish it off.
Wow, dude,
so if you stand your ground and like stare it down and like kind of like put your shoulders out,
but most people won't do that.
No, most people
panic, and then to them it's food.
Attract the shark.
We were talking about this, and tell me if this is true. That I heard when the surfers are doing this, they think it's a seal. Is that?
Yeah, they can think it's a seal or even a turtle because they're underneath. What do you see when you're under the water and you look up? You only see a silhouette.
Right.
So you don't see any details. But there's a new technique that they're looking at which shows a lot of promise. And what they're doing is simply putting LED lights on the bottom of the surfboard. And that is stopping the sharks, especially the great whites, from attacking the surfboard.
What? That's awesome.
Because now they're like, oh, yeah, that's not food.
That's actually smart.
Yeah. And it's very simple.
Yeah.
You just waterproof LED strips on the bottom of your board, done.
And then they're like, I'm not fucking with that.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. That's going to be a boat, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man, dude. So when this happened, how long were you laid up for,
man? I had my leg for a week. But because the shark took my hamstring and the hamstring, I couldn't feel it, I couldn't move it. So I made the decision to have that chopped off after the first week. And I think I was in hospital for a total of 9 weeks.
Wow.
And then I went home. I went home a little earlier than I was supposed to because I'm really stubborn. And I just wanted to get on with life. And I knew that there was no gym in the hospital. I knew I was going to have to train my body to get back to being able to be in the Navy still. And that was the goal. The whole goal, there was nothing else that existed except for me training to get back to the Navy.
I do a joke in my act right now about, do you ever talk to somebody that's so tough, you realize what a bitch you are? And like listening to you, like you're laid up in a fucking hospital bed with you making a decision that like, I have no use for my leg anyway, so get rid of the leg. You lose your hand and you're laying there and you're thinking about getting to the gym, dude.
Yeah.
You're thinking about getting to the gym. I would be like, dude, what am I gonna do? And I'm sure like moments of that, listen, you're a human being. So moments of like doubt and questioning what's gonna happen next happen, but then you switch it to, no, there's gonna be a, you know what's funny is, I was going through your stuff because, you know, I want to, like, you hear about somebody, but you want to read a little bit, you want to see.
Absolutely.
And I was like, dude, I showed my wife and my daughter, I said, oh, this guy, Paul De Gelder, he's coming on the show and this and that. And he went through all this. And my daughter's like 14. And she goes, man, it looks good for, like, and I was like, I've never seen somebody go through what you went through and just look like better. Like you look great. You look great, dude.
I don't have to run miles and miles and miles and miles every week now. I just lift heavy things up and down, so it's much easier to keep the muscle on.
And you're not like, so there's no fear now of water for you?
No, not at all, dude. I do the craziest stuff you can imagine. It's such a great transfer from military service working on Shark Week, because if you think about it, it's just like the military. It's small teams with a mission to execute a finite amount of time and a lot of danger. Except I get paid 3 times, probably 10 times the amount, and no one's yelling at me anymore. I get treated like talent. What?
Right.
Like I got drivers. I'm flying business class. I don't have to wedge myself between a pallet and the skin of a Hercules.
I'm wondering, like, and I hope this isn't a stupid question, but I almost feel like, are you like less scared of water than you ever were after
I'm less
what
scared
happened?
of everything now. Like, there's something that happens when you come that close to death, and you realize that it's not the end. I'd already given up when I was underwater. I was drowning in agony, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, you're not going home today. You're going to die right now.
Oh, shit.
It's very confronting to accept that. And it was like, you know, the attack was 8 seconds. So our minds and our bodies are such incredible tools to be able to think these things like lightning fast. And I thought to myself, are you ready to die?
Shit.
And I look back on my life, you know, those stories I told you, bad kid, trouble, hurting people, stealing, fighting, drugs, to what I'd accomplished, you know, being a soldier and peacekeeping and everything I'd done in the Navy. And I thought, you know what, you've lived 10 lives in these 31 years. I have no regrets.
Yeah.
I've done more than I could have ever imagined. If it's time for me to go, I'm ready. And I let go, and I was ready to die. And it wasn't scary. And so now I'm free of that fear of death, which means that I can do anything.
Yeah.
And that's like, confidence plays a huge role in you being able to accomplish things. Like, as they say, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Right.
So why would you not think you can?
I totally, like, everything, like, if I would have told my younger self some of the things that I would accomplish, you know, that's why, like, I just can't believe, like, some of the places and arenas that I got to perform in, and you know, act in movies and do all these things that you dream about when you're you know, performing. And I mean, I was literally standing on Coca-Cola crates in a pub in New Jersey while people are trying to drink their beer and eat, and I'm just yelling jokes at them, you know, and then you end up doing.
And
things
now you're
like
choosing where you're going to do your 4th special, maybe Australia.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly, man. And like, but it's funny that you said that, because there's a comedian that I know, Dean Del Rey. He was in a Harley Davidson accident, and he was on a highway in California. And he fell off the bike. He's like sliding across the highway. And he said everything started going in slow motion. He just started accepting, oh, this is how I'm going to die. This is it. And you reminded me of that when you were just like, there comes an acceptance where there's nothing that you can, but then all of a sudden you get out of it and you're like, oh, dude, let's rock and roll
Second
now.
chance.
Let's go.
Now I'm doing crazier stuff than before. You know, I did a show a couple of years ago called Shark Wrecked, where I parachuted into the Pacific Ocean and had to survive for 2 days and 2 nights with no food, no water, surrounded by sharks, just me and one other dude, hand feeding tiger sharks. I got to teach Mike Tyson how to dive with sharks.
I saw. Oh yeah, that was on Shark Week.
Yeah.
No, I saw that. But I gotta be honest, man, you're just like, you're almost like, come on, let's go. I already had round 1. I'm good. I'm still here. I'm still here.
Me and Mike were good. He threatened to kill the whole crew at one point because he was so scared. And like, I was talking to him on camera, and I'm like, Mike, why are you doing this? You got this big fight coming up. Aren't you little? Shouldn't you be training and safe? He's like, I think my wife's trying to kill me. She just wants the money. And I was like, well, shit, we can't put that in the show. And so production's trying to get him like to say something more poignant about why he's there. And he goes, look, I'm scared of these sharks, but I'm not scared of killing all you motherfuckers.
And that was his way of dealing with fear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we got him some weed and he was all right.
So now, so like, how did you get involved with Discovery and Shark Week and all that?
I was so scared of sharks. I hated sharks. My 2 greatest fears in life were sharks and public speaking. And so it's very strange that I'm now a shark diving public speaker. Like, I quit an IT course when I was 19 because you had to start speaking in front of the class.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that bad. So every time I got in the water with the Navy, I had sharks on the brain, but I have a job. People are relying on me. So put it to the back of your head, get on with it. And for me to get attacked, all the rest of the dive team were like, it had to be Paul. Had to be out of everyone. And so afterwards, I didn't blame the shark. For one, like, I understood I chose a dangerous life, big black Italian sports bike, jumping out of aircraft, blowing shit up. Like, you can't choose a dangerous life and then get upset when something goes wrong.
Of course.
So I never blamed the shark. I just accepted what happened and tried to move on. And I went back to work, like I said. And then 1 year, I got asked to do an interview for Shark Week on a show called, I think it was I Survived Jaws. And it was just an interview talking about my story. And I'd done 60 Minutes a couple of times, so I was pretty comfortable in front of the camera. And I'd learnt about sharks since then because the media had come to me for advice. We've seen more shark attacks. Can you tell us what happened to you and how we can be safe? And so I did my research. And the more I learned about sharks, the more I realized how much they actually have to fear from us and not the other way around.
Right.
So, we're wiping them out. If you did to a shark, if you did to a land-based animal, say a dog or a cat or a cow, what you do to a shark, stick a big steel hook through its face and drag it around the streets for a while, for a couple of hours, you'd be put in jail. But because we can't hear sharks scream, it's okay. And people kill them for fun. They kill them for sport. And I've learned so much appreciation for these animals and seen their beauty firsthand and coexisted with them in their environment.
Yeah.
I just, like, everyone loves an underdog, and sharks are the ultimate underdog.
It's remarkable to hear you speak like that after what happened, and it's such a positive outlook on life, but it's also, I could tell why you're successful, because that's what you do. Like, that's why you are who you are. That's why you're traveling, talking about stuff like that, and being able to go, well, no, man, like, they're scared too. Like, I'm in their environment, and
the
they
day
don't
we
know what
start
I
growing
am.
gills and need to be in the water, then maybe we'll have a face-off. But we got our environment, and they've got theirs, and that's their home. And it's not just because of the ethical thing behind it. Ecologically, they're very important to the environment as well. They're what's known as a keystone species, so apex predator, top of the food chain. You remove an apex predator, and that whole ecosystem collapses underneath it.
Yeah, dude, that's wild. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, I really got to rethink my life.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm a bitch.
Well, you've been
dude.
killing my friends.
No. I'm not doing. I'm just saying. I'm like listening to you talk. If I got bit by, I wouldn't go into a lake. I wouldn't dip my. I would be looking in the pool, dude. I'd be looking in the pool of some shit.
We don't give up the things that we love because we're scared.
Well, you said something that I think everybody should do. It's what I did with flying and aviation, and it's what I do with anything that I'm afraid of. Is if you're afraid of something, learn about it.
Exactly.
Because when you learn about it and you could learn all that stuff, it's just it just gives you this comfort into knowing everything.
Knowledge dispels fear.
It really does. Like, you just know everything about it. You're like, oh, that's it. Now, talk to me about Shark Week. What's coming up? Yeah,
we got another 20 episodes this year. I get to host 3 of them. One of them is called Bull Shark Dinner Bell, where we create a situation and stimulus for the bull sharks to go into an aggressive mode, so we can show people how to stay away from these bull sharks so they don't end up like me. So you're going to look for certain things, You don't go into the water after heavy rainfall, because the detritus and the dirt and everything washes into the ocean and it becomes very murky. Guess what likes to hunt in murky water? Bull sharks. And they can't see you. And so they'll swim. They can live in fresh water for up to 4 years.
Does that rainfall on the ocean go for any shark or just bull sharks?
Pretty much any shark.
Okay, so you don't want to be in there after a big storm.
No, because that creates a frequency as well when it hits the water.
Okay.
And so the sharks kind of go. We do these experiments where we use rainfall, we use murky water, we use different types of bait, so that you can identify what the perfect ingredients are to ring the bull shark dinner bell. I use myself as bait, obviously.
So now, what's the flip side to that? When are they the least around?
When it's cold water, they kind of like the warmer waters.
Okay.
But then in the colder waters, sometimes you get the great whites. Great whites down in New Zealand.
I thought great whites liked cold.
Yeah, but generally speaking, it's so hard to predict, and that's why people still get attacked. Like, it could, at the moment, we've had some attacks in Australia, and it's winter. Usually we would have them during the summer.
Yeah.
But we have another show called The Hunt for Big Rose. Went up to Nova Scotia, once again, super cold water, giant great white sharks, like everything from a little baby to 20-foot plus great whites.
Big Rose.
Big Rose, yeah.
Okay.
One of the biggest sharks on the eastern seaboard. And
is it marked? Like
she has there's
a tracker on her?
I'm not going to spoil the show.
Okay.
Like, that's all going to be part of it.
Okay.
But she has a mark on her, which is why her name is Big Rose, on her dorsal fin. But so, like...
And she's big?
It's like being in Star Wars at the very start and seeing the Empire.
How do you know it's a boy or a girl?
She doesn't have her 2 doodles. Male sharks have 2 penises.
Really?
Yeah, they lay flat like that on their bodies. So, and they, like, big male sharks, they're just kind of like flopping around.
Big shark dicks just flying around?
Big shark dicks, yeah.
They got 2?
Yeah, they're double dickers.
No wonder why they're like, listen, I'm coming through here.
But the females are bigger than the males. They need to be, because those males can be super aggressive. You get a giant female shark, and they're usually pretty chill. Like, you can swim with them. They're like what we call players.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the young males you got to look out for.
Okay. Wow. And now you were attacked by, you don't know what if it was a female?
No idea. 10-foot bull shark. We could probably figure it out depending on what the water temperature was, depending on the time of year. Because I think they come in and out of Sydney Harbour at different times for mating and stuff like that.
Okay.
Could probably narrow it down. And then we do a show called Ultimate Shark Dive with a Red Bull high diver called Molly Carlson. And she usually does all her little flippy, spinny things, jumping off cliffs and bridges and all that sort of stuff.
With sharks there?
No, she's never done it with sharks before.
Okay.
She's terrified of sharks.
Okay.
And so we're getting her to jump into a shark cage surrounded by sharks out of a helicopter.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
What? You know, my older brother's biggest fear is great whites. But he's fascinated too. That's why he told me, like, what the pressure they bite down with, what they could smell, a drop of this from this many miles away, all that stuff. It really is fascinating. So I got you on Paul's Best, and we were talking about this before, as I always do with the guests. And you were like, it was so funny because I asked you, it just says your personality. I was like, if you don't want to talk about like best places to see sharks, you're like, no, let's talk about best places to see sharks.
That's one thing I know.
So, and you heard about what's going on in Cape Cod, right?
With the great whites.
Yeah,
and
because the seals went there.
Mm-hmm.
Because now there's signs now. My wife's family had a place in Cape Cod, and it was like, oh, we'll go to the beach. You're like, no. Yeah. Like, you're going to the beach, but you're going to stay on the sand. Because there's signs everywhere and they could tell where they shifted, right? They could see it through aerial, right?
That has been going on for a while. I did a show out there probably 9 to 10 years ago.
I was going to say, this has been about 9 years.
We saw about 8 great whites before 11 a.m. in the morning. And we were only out there for a couple of hours. And one of them was about 16 foot. And they were 50 feet from the swimming beach, swimming up and down, looking for lone seals to attack. I would not go in the water there.
No. Cape Cod is like they say. Yeah. I always was told it's Australia and Hawaii were the most. But so let's do it now. Let's go through this now, which is pretty interesting. With Shark Week coming up, having Paul De Gelder is the best. Where are you definitely going to see? Where are they definitely? Like the best places to see them?
Bimini in the Bahamas.
Oh.
And you get to see one of the rarest sharks that most people never get to see, the great hammerhead. So these things are massive. Wait a minute,
what's the great hammerhead?
The great hammerhead. So there's, I think, 7 different species of hammerhead. The great hammerhead is the huge one. You know, they've got the largest dorsal fin, the fin on their back, largest dorsal fin out of every shark, comparative to size.
Wow.
Huge, massive heads, some of these big girls. You know, we know a lot of them by name. We've got Queen, we've got Gaia, and they're 16 foot. Their heads, like, they swim directly into you, and you have to grab them by this massive bony head and just try and redirect this submarine away from you.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
They're amazing, and you were pretty much guaranteed to see them every time you go there. Not only that, but if you go there to Bimini, you'll have the tiger sharks generally turn up as well.
Bimini, Bahamas.
Yes. Okay. Number 1 spot in the world. I love going shark diving. You've got the Caribbean reef sharks, the nurse sharks, lemon sharks, hammerhead sharks, and tigers, big tigers.
I was going to say, that was my next question, Paul. I swear to God. Tell me about tiger sharks. What's the deal with them?
They are referred to as the garbage cans of the sea. They will fucking eat anything. Dude, I was doing a show where we had a steel pole with this big metal plate with some jelly inside of it, and that's like supposed to detect their bite force. The tiger shark, it's huge. It's like big thing. It's that thick. The tiger shark comes and grabs it, rips it off the steel pole, and swallowed the whole fucking thing.
What?
Yeah. I'm thinking in my head, that's going to hurt on the way back out.
Yeah, dude, that's going to...
What they do is when they can't digest something, they just throw it back up. Yeah.
And how big can they get, tigers?
16, 18 foot.
Oh, dude.
Really, really big.
That's like almost great white type shit.
They can get, at their full size, given their full lifespan, they can get really big. 16 foot, I think.
So, wow. Okay, so we got the Bahamas.
But it's like the big female great whites. The bigger they are, the more polite they become. It's once again the young ones that are feisty.
Like a dog.
I got nabbed by a great hammerhead a few months ago because I was feeding the tigers and the hammers, and sometimes they get a little bit too gnarly, and so you can't. I just closed the food box, put my hand in the air. I say hands, but when I'm diving, I've got a steel hook on. And it's like, I got no food. There's no food. Take it easy. Chill out. And in between those times, I kept absent-mindedly just kind of like rubbing my hand on my leg. And I was rubbing the scent of the fish on my leg. So I'm over this way feeding a hammerhead, and one of the little girls, Atalanta, came in, and there's a large portion of a shark's brain is dedicated to their olfactory senses, which is their sense of smell.
Yeah.
She could smell it, and she just came in straight and boom, hit me on the leg and took off.
Oh, dude.
Like it was just that little one.
Yeah, dude, you can't do this you can't. Right. Yeah, when the other one.
I love it.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like you're looking at it like, this is what I do.
I just got a tattoo. That's all it is. It's a little shark tattoo.
Oh, the fearlessness is wild.
I love it, man. It's this. You know what's so special about it? You can't think of anything else. It's like, what's meditation? Meditation is calming your mind and being at peace. When you're underwater with the sharks, you cannot think of anything else. There's no taxes. There's no fights with your missus. There's nothing. It's just you and the sharks, and it's peaceful. And like, even Mike, Will Smith, even Rhonda, everyone agreed, and they were all terrified. Well, not Rhonda. She wanted to feed him first go, but she's a weapon.
Now people panic down there, right?
Yes.
Anthony
Anderson panicked. He did an uncontrolled descent out of his little snoober thing. He could have blown his eardrums. He has the loudest squeal of any man on earth. That man, Anthony Anderson, screaming. God, you need hearing protection.
We were in. So we went for our 10-year wedding anniversary. We went to Hawaii. And they said if you go on the west side of the island, you could go on this. We went on this nice catamaran. but they were giving us, like, I had an iced coffee in the morning. Then I get on a catamaran, Paul, and they're giving some rum. So now I'm mixing rum with coffee, and you start doing this. They're like, hey, we're going to go and we're going to see the most beautiful sea turtles. And when you go underwater with the snorkel, you are going to see, it's going to be like a fish tank of the most beautiful tropical fish. And I go in, and it was doing this. And I started to have this, like, underwater panic. So I came up, and I realized when I came up it was worse. So I had to go down to, and then I said to my wife and the guy that was with everybody, he goes, "Are you all right, man?" He knew.
Yeah.
He goes, "You all right?" And Stacy, my wife, she goes, "You want to go back?" And I go, "I don't want to be the first one back, but something." And then all of a sudden, I had to get back, and it felt like I panicked.
Yeah,
I had an anxiety attack because now I'm in the water. My stomach doesn't feel right. My head is discombobulated.
Yeah.
And I finally got back, and she said, I took the flippers off. I ran downstairs, just vomiting.
God.
So
Did you feel better after it, though?
I felt better, but I was still a little fucked. Like,
seasick?
I was just sitting there on the catamaran on the way, and my wife, who's afraid of water, afraid of fish, afraid of everything, she's like, "Look at this beautiful." She was all into it. And I thought I was going to be the one. My older brother went on a fishing trip with coworkers. He threw up for 5 hours. We thought he was going to be the one, and it ended up being me. But I'm thinking, like, if I'm down there in a cage, and, like, you know, and, like, you're coaching me through, you guys are talking, everything's good, and I just see, like, a couple, I don't want my mind to go, "Hey, you're underwater, you can't get out." It's almost like a claustrophobia thing, but I guess that's just something you got to get over. Like,
yeah, what I like to refer to as a quiet confidence that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, all you got to do is breathe. That's it. Just breathe.
Yeah.
You know, there's no other responsibility. Everything else, safety is taken care of by the people topside. You're never going to be in the cage alone, and you're generally not in a cage on the bottom anyway. The only place you can do that with great whites is in Australia.
Yeah.
Most places in the world, we don't use cages. In the Bahamas, in Bimini, we have a cage alongside the dock, but you can literally just stand up and get out. So
okay, that is
totally fine.
That's more I would do that.
Being underwater with no cage, surrounded by giant hammerhead sharks and tiger sharks, that's a little more freaky for everyone because you have so far to go to the surface.
That's what I'm saying.
And one of the things we teach you is don't panic and go to the surface because the sharks will chase you.
If you just lose it and you want to get up there, they're going to chase.
They'll chase you and eat you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it happened to a German tourist. She got eaten by 7 tiger sharks in front of her husband.
Oh, my God.
A bunch of years ago in the Bahamas.
What?
Yeah, because it was the dive charter's fault. This is not a dive charter that's local to the area. They were being irresponsible, and they were dragging the chum boxes back to the boat with the tourists. And so the sharks were obviously following the scent trail. Yep, she went to the surface, got grabbed by the arm, shark pulled her down, and all the rest jumped in and ate her. Oh, pretty horrible and tragic.
Oh, that's and they're liable, right?
Yeah, and so that's why the safety is so important in everything we do and the knowledge of what to do and what not to do. And we haven't had anyone die on Shark Week ever. And we do crazy stuff.
Thank God. Knock on wood. Yeah. That's wild. So where else can people go and see them?
Well, Australia is one of the best places in the world, like I just said. The only place in the world they drop the cage to the bottom, and you can be surrounded on the bottom by great white sharks. They do like full 3-5 day trips out there as well.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it's so crazy when you go and do it because you'll be diving with great white sharks in the morning, and then in the afternoon they'll take you like 10 miles away, and you'll go snorkeling with seals. And you're just thinking, I'm pretty sure a great white can swim 10 miles, and this is their food source.
Hey, we were just like, I don't know if this makes sense. They kind of know, I think.
And all they say is, if the seals start to scatter, go to the rocks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they can swim a little faster than I can.
Yeah, but no one seems to get attacked there. I don't know how it works. It's some sort of witchcraft.
Yeah.
But Australia definitely. It's a place called Port Lincoln, the Neptune Islands. Phenomenal. Okay. Really big sharks. Yeah. You get very close to them. You can also do it in New Zealand, but it's much colder. It's Stewart Island. It's harder to get to.
Okay. All right. So I wouldn't think Bahamas because I thought that I thought opposite, but I'm thinking great whites, where great whites don't like warmer. But it's warmer in Bahamas, right?
Yeah, it's warmer in Bahamas. But the great whites have been, so the third place would be Florida. Florida's incredible. And
really?
There's probably 10 different charters max out of Florida. They always get the bull sharks. I've seen hammerheads out there. I've seen tiger sharks out there, lemon sharks, reef sharks, and occasionally, even they're seeing them more and more now.
Yeah.
Great white sharks migrating up and down the Florida coast. So they'll all these.
And what part of Florida? Like what?
Off of Jupiter, Palm Beach. That sort of,
yeah. Yeah, because the other side is like my mother-in-law has a place in Sarasota, but there's no waves there. That's the calm side.
That's where the hammerheads will be. Tiger sharks could be in there as well. But yeah, there's a couple of great diving charters. If anyone down in Florida wants to go, they're super safe. There's one called Tanner Underwater.
Okay.
Really good friend of mine. And the other one is Florida Shark Divers and Gung Ho Divers are great as well. But they're all get pretty much guaranteed 100% you're going to see sharks. And you don't have to be dive qualified. A lot of it is just snorkel.
As somebody who's a beach goer, we go all the time. We get a place on the ocean, the Jersey Shore, which we love. Give us the facts, because a lot of people say no, a lot of people say yes. Obviously, how shallow can they get in? Can they get up to? I mean, can they go 4 feet, 3 feet, or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. They
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
So that's all real.
And there's all. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all real. Like, people go, no, they're not coming up. They won't come up to the boogie borders.
Yeah, they will. But a lot of the times they're not going to attack you anyway. Those great hammerheads can get into super shallow water, chasing stingrays and stuff like that, and smaller sharks. But there's never been a fatality from a great hammerhead.
Okay.
You'll get a lot of bites all through Florida and North Carolina. People just in knee-deep water from the little blacktip sharks, because they migrate up and down the coast in the hundreds and the thousands. And so you put your foot down somewhere wrong, they get freaked out, they lash out and bite you. And so now that's classed as a shark attack.
Oh,
so every time you hear shark attack, it's not always attack. Sometimes it's just a little nibble.
Yeah, I love the black tips. I saw them at the aquarium. They're cool looking.
They're very cool.
And talk to me about Hawaii. Is Hawaii in the top 5, 6, or no?
Yep. Ocean Ramsey, famous shark whisperer from the Netflix documentary. She has a charter out there with her husband Juan called One Ocean, and she's incredible in the way that she spreads her knowledge and teaches people all about sharks, and then will take you snorkeling with the sharks as well. And there's some very famous footage of her and her friend, I think it's Kaylee, free swimming with 3 of the biggest great white sharks ever seen off of Hawaii, because they were feeding on a whale carcass.
Holy shit! What's the biggest one ever recorded or ever known for a white?
I think it's about 24 foot. Hawaii. I think
no, a white. A great white.
A great white. I think about 24 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But these ones that the Ocean and Kaylee and stuff were swimming with, they were 20, 22 feet, I think. Shit. And I say deep blue size, the mythical big giant sharks they used to film back in the day off the coast of Mexico in Guadalupe Island that no one has seen for years.
We're talking like Jaws.
Yeah, like enormous. Yeah. Not the Meg size, but like if
is the Meg a myth?
No, it really existed.
It did.
Yeah, absolutely. You can collect megalodon teeth all over the Florida beaches and North Carolina rivers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen some of the teeth that are like that big.
Okay. Yeah. So we're talking, what, 40 feet?
Freaking dinosaur. Like
40,
feet,
50
10 meters? No, triple that.
What?
Surely. 10 meters? 20 meters? I reckon 20 meters. I'm no megalodon expert, but comparatively speaking, if a great white can get to 24 feet, I would say a megalodon could be 60 foot.
Wow. Whoa. That would be...
don't quote me on that. Do your own research.
No. Yeah, no.
Triple the size of a great white, I'm pretty
sure.
So
out of all the places that we're talking about, like the places you're definitely... the best places you're going to go dive and see. So Florida's the one that I wouldn't expect to be up there. Are there any places that people wouldn't expect that sharks could be? Like places?
Sharks are everywhere, man.
Yeah.
If it's salty, there's sharks.
Okay.
If it's freshwater, there's bull sharks.
Yeah.
They've been found 1,500 miles up the Mississippi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's where you would not expect. We all grow up wakeboarding and swinging into the rivers and stuff, thinking that's the safe spot. And that's where all the bull sharks breed.
Now, when you go out on Shark Week with these people, like, because I know I would be like, hey, there's got to be a class here, right? Like, are we going into like a little briefing? Like, is there like a little like thing that you guys have to go through? Like, is there like a training before it or no? Like water tank
no,
shit?
really,
No?
Like as long as you're dive qualified. So
Okay.
I run trips to the Bahamas sometimes as well, where I take tourists out there just for a bit of fun because, why would you not want to get paid to go to the Bahamas? And then I
Sure.
meet all these friends, we drink pina coladas and we go shark diving, and it's basically a slow workup. We've got the cage next to the dock with the bull shark, so we get people comfortable in the cage, seeing the sharks and all of that sort of stuff. And then we go out and we see the hammerhead sharks, and it's like, they're pretty safe. Like the tigers turn up sometimes and dominate the show, but everyone ends up loving it. Even Will Smith got out of he was really scared, and he got out of the water. He said that's possibly one of the greatest things I've ever done.
Really?
Everyone says the same thing because they go into it with this fear, and then they realize that the sharks really aren't interested. They're not that interested in you at all. They're definitely not trying to eat you.
Right.
Everyone's like, why won't they come closer?
So this is this is not a cage.
This is no cage.
So you're in there.
25 feet deep.
Okay, you have the tank, you're breathing, and people are kind of like, how come they're not coming to get me?
Yeah.
But in their mind, they don't look at you as food in that moment.
No. We've got the food. I'm standing out there in front of everyone with a big bucket of food, hand feeding them in front of everyone.
You're crazy, dude.
Dude, it's so fun. Like, how else could you replicate that? Like,
no, you can't.
You can't. It's the only predator that will let you share its environment. Could any predator, a bear, a wolf,
That's right.
like
I was thinking
anything,
even like a cat.
even a freaking, a dog you don't know. You go walk up and put your hand on its head, you're going to lose that hand. A shark, even the big scary ones, a great white, a tiger, a hammerhead, a bull, will let you share their environment, and you can swim with them, and you can put your hand on their head and push them away, and they'll allow you to do that as long as you treat them with respect.
Wow. Here's my next question then. What's like when you're doing this? Do you ever get you're down there? You ever see a whale go by?
No, I've heard them. I've not seen them.
You've heard them.
When I was with the Navy, we used to go and do our mine clearance practice out in this beautiful place called Jarvis Bay, widest beaches in the world, and you could hear the whales singing while we were underwater working.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like the ocean is such a wonderful, magical place.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that they're the only predators that let you share the environment. I was just watching this. It was just all over the internet where this guide was in the safari in Africa, and he just stopped the Jeep, and they're like,
Is that the guy on the front?
The guy in the front.
And the lion comes around.
Oh,
the front?
no. Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. No, this was the instructor, and he just looked back and he just said this with the utmost confidence and seriousness. He goes, guys, the male lion, okay? If the male lion sees you and you have something in your hand, it's attacking you. If it's in your hand and it sees you with something, it's going to attack you.
No
and
way.
they go, so don't have anything in your hands. And then he goes, the female, the lioness, they'll attack you no matter what. Not in your hand or in your hand. And I was just like, and he just looked at them and said, so just, be careful when you see one coming and everything like that. But it makes me think like a shark is not doing that.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with the sharks. Well, like I said before, when I want to calm them down, I just put my hands up and open my hands, and they can see that I'm not holding any food. And they all calm down, and then we can go back to feeding again.
So
they come in polite,
smart,
one by one. They are smart. They're, if you judge a fish and a monkey on who climbs a tree better, who's going to win?
Right.
So we're all smart in our own environment.
Right. Man, now when you go on these motivational things, and you go and you talk to people like that, is it basically about the knowledge and getting rid of the fear? Is it basically just your story of resilience and that you just I wanted to talk to you about that before we end this. And by the way, thank you for being here, man. This is amazing.
Oh, my pleasure, man. I love being in New York.
No, yeah, this is
once a year I get it. Shark
yeah,
Week
dude.
publicity.
And I got to tell you, there's a couple of places to eat I got to tell you about.
All right,
before.
sweet.
Yeah. That'll knock your socks off. Like you'll just be like, dude, I can't believe I just had there's a French dip place, there's a cheesesteak place, and there's some
dip?
Yeah, French dip place,
Okay.
and some pizza places I got to tell you about.
Sweet.
But when you go and you said that you talk to these people and you said it's like, and I said, man, like before we started, I said, man, you can do a one man show because you bring them up, you bring them down. But when you're talking to these people and you're going through your motivational speech to them and letting them know, are you telling your story or are you letting them know what they can do, or it's kind of both together?
It's both together.
Yeah.
It's me telling the story, weaving the lessons that I've learned throughout those stories
in order to help
being poignant for everyone else.
Yeah.
Because obviously not everyone needs to worry about getting attacked by a shark, but the emotional resilience and the mental ability to overcome tragedy, everyone needs that.
Yes.
You know, how do you make yourself stronger? How do you think better about yourself? What are the words that you're telling yourself in your head? Because they're the most important words you're ever going to hear, the ones you tell yourself.
That's right.
And so you have to practice all of these emotional exercises. It's no different to learning to ride a bike or riding your skateboard or learning to read and write or doing your job better. How do you do it? You practice.
Yeah.
You do it over and over and over and over again. So if you are telling yourself negativity over and over and over and over again, that is what you become. So you have to flip the script, and most people do that. They, you know, it's easier to latch on to the negative stuff and eat shit food and spend all your time on your phone and watch dumb television, numbing your brain and not getting outside and not being a part of nature. All of that stuff's super easy.
Yep.
But it's never going to serve you.
No.
You know, so you want to. It's fine to do that stuff. It's part of human nature. We're going to do it. But how about try and flip the scales a little bit so that you've got a little bit more nature, a little bit more hiking, a little bit more wildlife, a little bit more happiness in your life. So, you know, whatever it is, whatever you love to do, like surround yourself.
Even being outside in the sun for a little while.
Yes,
walking
absolutely.
around is like
getting good sleep. And so,
you
know, it's all that. The story is what it is. It's an emotional roller coaster. I touch on my early years. I talk about the military. I show the shark attack footage and some of the surgery photos. I had to stop sharing some of those because I ended up having 70 people pass out in the audiences over the years.
Because you were showing that.
I was showing the blow by blow of the leg surgery.
Do you still do that?
I don't know. Not since I moved to America. I had 67 men pass out. Only 3 women have passed out. No Americans. I was doing a big dinner.
Good for you, ladies.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Girls are tough, man.
Yeah.
I think it's because the guys are like, because I give a big warning.
Yeah.
Like a big screen. I'm like, you know, if you don't like blood and guts, just go to a happy place. So, you know, all that. And guys are like, oh, yeah, I got this. Man, I can look at things. And then like 2 slides in, you just start seeing, boom. I did a launch for Microsoft 10 a bunch of years ago, and 6 people passed out all in one go. The AV guy controlling my audio visual passed out over his control panel, dribbling into his electronics.
You were showing you show the actual attack?
The actual attack and the injuries, and then how they removed my leg, because it's really interesting. Because the shark bite was so high up on my leg, if they did a normal amputation above the wound, I wouldn't have any residual limb left on my leg. And that makes you a hip disarticulate amputee, and your prosthetic has to be swung by your hip. So if you have part of your leg, you can put a socket on, and then this swings the prosthetic. It makes life so much easier. But because all my hamstring was gone, they had to cut open the back of my leg from the shark bite down to my foot, chopped off my foot, butterflied all the meat off the bone of my leg, and like just laid it out flat, and then saw out all the leg bone. And then take the flesh from my lower part of my leg and fold it into where my hamstring.
You're showing this to the.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't understand why some dudes. I mean, that sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. Like I said, man, it's an emotional roller coaster. And then, like, I share some video footage. I show some cool stuff we did on Shark Week, and me parachuting and snowboarding, and just like a little bit of motivation. Go, look, if I'm doing it with one leg and one hand, and I'm not special in any way, shape, or form, we can all do this as long as, you know, there's what I've just told you is here. It's evidence. Like, it works. And I just want people to walk away feeling like they can run through a brick wall.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, I think you're doing a great job of it, because, you know, this is what my podcast is about. This podcast is about positivity, the best of things. And like you said it best, it's like if everything you do is negative, and I got to tell you something. I cut those people out of my life. Yeah. People that was just everything is negative, right?
And you can try and pull them into line, but if they're not willing to listen, then you got to cut them away.
Because I had to cut people away because it was just like, but this and that. Oh, but what happens if this? And I'm going, oh, you're projecting because of shit in your childhood. You're projecting because of things that you can't do, because some people some people can't do what you do, so they want to knock it down. Yeah. And I just, you know,
tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah. It's like no. It's like, I don't know if you ever saw it's an incredible interview. Jay-Z is with Angie Martinez, and you know, he's like, you know, my uncle said, like, to me, how are you gonna sell 1 million records? What are you? And he's like, you can't do that. And he goes, no, you can.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't. But some people, and they were saying in the interview, he didn't mean it to be mean. And he just didn't, like, how can you?
He couldn't process that.
He couldn't process it. He couldn't wrap his head around how you could do that.
I could never have believed that I would get to do what I do either. Sometimes we are capable of things that we don't even believe we can do. You know, and it just takes incremental, step by step, day by day, plugging away, following those dreams, no matter how unrealistic they might seem at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, everything's impossible until you do it.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, dude, look at what you've done.
I can't believe how far I've come. It's
even
that lost kid that was fighting and drinking and
jumped by 20 people.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, jumping out of planes.
You know,
and then
I get paid to travel the world and have adventures. I get to walk in the footsteps of my hero. That's one of the greatest things. I get to walk in the footsteps of my heroes. People like
I was gonna say, who is
David Attenborough, Sylvia Earle, Ron and Valerie Taylor, Steve Irwin, Dr. Suzuki, all of these amazing people that I grew up watching on television, teaching people about wild places and wild things, and now I get to do that. How lucky am I?
Have you ever connected?
It cost me a hand and a leg, but you know.
But it got you where you are now.
Exactly.
Have you ever connected with Steve Irwin's son?
I've hosted the Steve Irwin Gala dinner twice.
Oh, that's amazing.
I taught Robert to dive with sharks for a show. I know them very well. They are a beautiful family.
You could tell, rest his soul, man. Steve Irwin, he was such a great guy. And then when you see the spirit of his son, when I see his son sit down and
Robert's
talk,
amazing. We just ran into each other in an airport in Texas.
Right?
Yeah,
what a sweet person.
He really is. And everything you see on TV, that's them in real life. They are that lovely.
You can tell, like I can, and I think that's why, like, you know, not to toot my own horn, I think that's why I'm good at what I do, comedy, and reading people and reading things, seeing what's bullshit, seeing what's not. When I saw that guy sit down and talk, I was like, that's who this kid is. That's how this kid was raised.
Yeah.
This kid was raised to be like that. It's just a pleasure of a person. And
I don't know how Terry did it, man, with raising those kids as well balanced as they are, in the spotlight their whole lives, and the pressure from, you know, living up to Steve's shadow and stuff. Like, she has done an incredible job.
There's two kids, right?
Yeah, Bindi and Robert.
And you
then they both won Dancing with the Stars.
Did they both?
They both did. Robert just won it recently. Yeah.
I knew one of them did. I didn't know both of them did. Oh, that's so funny, man. Let everybody know, like, about please plug all your stuff.
Cool.
Plug all your stuff.
I'm very easy to find. It's just my name, Paul De Gelder.
Yeah.
I'm mostly active on Instagram. But I got a couple of books. I've got Uncaged. That's like the journey that I've been on from, you know, being young and lost in Australia to the rap stories and the strip club stories, and
I love that.
You know, to then the Shark Week stuff. And then there's another book called Shark: Why We Need to Save the World's Most Misunderstood Predator. And it's all about my journey with sharks and facts and knowledge about sharks and stuff like that. So they're a good read.
And the shark thing is coming out.
Shark Week starts next week.
Shark Week is next week.
Yeah. 20 starts the 26th. 20 new documentaries of excitement, science, stunts, adventure. It's going to be a good week.
I always say, like, what else can they do? How long could Shark Week go? And then all of a sudden there's all these different shows. And you're like,
Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know that. It never ends.
Well, they're discovering new science and they're discovering new areas of sharks. You know, we've lost a couple of areas. We lost Guadalupe Island off the coast of Mexico because the Mexican government shut it down for whatever reason. So we've had to pivot and try and find all these new places like Nova Scotia.
Oh, okay.
You know, we lost South Africa because the fishing industry apparently killed most of the great whites, and then a couple of orca came through and killed some, so all the sharks moved somewhere else or were killed. So, you know, we gain some, we lose some. We're always trying to look for creative ways to get people involved in learning about and respecting these animals we love so much.
And what about like foundations that try to save them?
Shark Allies is a really good one, and Shark Allies work in a legislative role. So they don't just raise awareness about sharks, they go and they try and change the law about how people treat sharks.
Yeah.
So they've done a lot of really great work. Beneath the Waves is another really good one. My friend Tristan Guttridge looks after that, but there's a few. Shark Allies is probably one of my favorites.
They're not endangered, right? There's no sharks that are endangered right now?
There
population-wise?
are some sharks that are endangered or protected. Like the great hammerhead is protected, the great white is protected.
Okay.
It depends on where you are in the world as well.
And when you say protected, meaning you can't
kill them.
You can't kill them.
Yeah. You're not allowed to, California, you're not allowed to catch great whites. If you do, you got to return them to the water straight away.
Okay.
But there are some sharks, like, you go to Florida, you can kill a mako shark every day if you want.
But people aren't eating shark, right?
Yeah,
Can you eat shark?
Some of them will. You shouldn't. People do. They say mako's a lot like swordfish, but the problem with eating sharks is they have this thing called bioaccumulation. Okay. And you had Anthony Robbins nearly died from mercury poisoning because he was eating too much tuna.
Oh, okay.
Well, guess what eats the tuna? The sharks.
Okay.
And so your sharks and large fish can't excrete toxic metals like we can because they don't sweat, they don't breathe it out. So they bioaccumulate it in their flesh. And when you eat that, you're getting a large amount of toxic metals like mercury, arsenic. So it's really not good for you, but people still do it. They don't care.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love sushi and stuff, but I watch the intake.
Yeah.
Because I could eat it every day.
Oh yeah, it's delicious.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like, and
well, I go to Beyond Sushi. So it's a vegan sushi restaurant here.
Good?
Yeah, but fantastic. It's amazing.
Oh, dude, I'm going to tell you some stuff too. But no, I was talking to somebody the other day about how the things that people think are big deals, right? And the things that people get mad about and the things that people get upset about in their life. And then you find out that somebody was in the hospital and was told that they have 6 months to live. And I'm going like, what the fuck are we worried about? Do you know what I mean? And having you here is just a reminder of that. And I always say that, and sometimes my wife doesn't like it because I'm like, well, does it matter? Like, it doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't matter. Listen, and to her, I guess at that time it does matter. Yeah. But I'm like, I think when you go through things, and I've been through some things, you know what I mean? That's an episode for another day. But we all been through things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Everybody that we come across.
You never know what a person next to you has been going through.
Robin Williams.
100 million different things that person could be going through.
Robin Williams said something, rest his soul, and he was just like, everybody in the world has a battle they're going through, so be kind.
Yep.
And I always live by that, and I don't want to ever like minimize somebody's what they're going through at that time. But I'm somebody that when you go through things and you've been to dark places mentally, you've been to hell, and you've been to places that really make you question everything, which it sounds like you have, and I know that I have, it makes you realize like, no, man, this is go enjoy. And you know what I mean? Because I don't think people live like they're going to die.
No.
A lot of people don't think like that, but they're gonna.
Yeah.
And if you do it like that, you appreciate everything. Somebody said to me one time, they were like, because I said to, it was actually my dear friend, mentor, Bill Burr, and he said to me, this is years ago, because I used to open for Bill like 11 years ago. And I said, the other day I was outside and I was just eating a tuna fish sandwich, and I was drinking my iced tea, and I was just looking at the wind hit the trees, and I was like, and it was the greatest feeling. And he's like, see, Virzi, you get life, you get that. But I realized something. I don't think I would have felt that had I not been through things before.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And that made me go, no, this piece right now.
How lucky I am right now.
This fucking iced tea and this sandwich and what I'm doing right now, and my kids are healthy.
Yep.
This is, and I think that that's the bigger thing. So like you going through everything you went through in your young life with the shark attack and now doing everything, you have a freedom and appreciation and a gratitude, and I really appreciate you bringing that to my show, man.
Thank you, mate.
And this was awesome. And dude, anytime you come to New York, anytime you want to see a comedy show.
Hell yeah. I just told you I love comedy,
yeah,
man. It's my favorite.
We'll exchange numbers anytime, and the clubs here are the best. New York's the best.
Really?
Oh, dude.
That's a bold statement.
New York stand-up.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, look.
Comedy store?
It's a comedy store. Listen, comedy
Improv?
stores up there. Improv, I love. I love the Hollywood Improv. I love
New
the
York
comedy
rules.
Store. New York is, and I think a lot of people say, I think New York is where you go to get better. I think LA is where you go to get seen. Both are great.
Right.
Both have great comedians. I'm never going to talk about, I know friends that are in LA that are monsters, but New York, New York makes you go from funny to like real and honest and funny.
Sweet, dude. You got to tell me where. I'm here till Monday. I'm going to go catch some shows.
Oh, absolutely. I'll definitely tell you. Check out Shark Week next week. Paul De Gelder, check it out, guys. We are adding a tour. Okay, I start my fall tour into the winter, September 10th in Boston at Laugh Boston. You could check that out. We just added. Oh man, dude, we're going to be going everywhere. We just added Wisconsin. We just added Buffalo, New York. We're going to be adding all over. So just go to paulvirzi.com. Go to the YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button. You could get all of Paul's best podcasts. Rate, review the show. Leave a comment. It moves the show to the top. So check that out. And I will see you guys next week. Paul, You're the best.
Appreciate it, man.
Take care. Check them out on Shark Week this week. It's going to be great.